Welcome back. This is the Digi Elysium After Hours, and I'm your host, ChoppedStix. Now, I'm going to talk about a game that just dropped recently called The Dying Light 2. And a lot of you have probably already played the first one, and have already played this one a little bit, at least, because it just recently dropped. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm a huge fan of the Dying Light world, and I'm a huge fan of like the Dead Island thing. It's the same directors, same everything. So here's my thing. The world is beautiful. It is gorgeous. It's amazing. To me, it's fun. But I've been reading some bad reviews, and I've been hearing a lot of people complaining about certain things via Twitter, some people on Steam, just regular here and there. There's some bugs to the game. There's always gonna be bugs to this game. Well, not to this. You get the gist what I'm trying to say. But the thing is Dying Light 2 apparently promised a lot of things, and a lot of people were pretty pissed that it didn't deliver on some of the things. Now, there are always going to be workarounds and people working on certain things. The combat feels the same. And of course, I expected that. A lot of people think that's lackluster on the combat because, everything for skill-wise is locked behind a quest line chain, or it's a huge grindy fest of just killing repetitive zombies, or collecting certain things, or running and jumping building to building. You know what? That was in the first game. This is not gonna, I didn't expect them to change their algorithm for that. The one thing I did have an issue with is not the combat per se, it's the weapons. Now, every weapon has a breaking point, and it's always gonna have a breaking point, which is fine. But the problem I had was there's no way to trash an item, which I guess is okay, but I would really rather use the materials to repair or have to use the materials for other things. But that's not a thing apparently, because you just sell the item off for money. The other thing is that there is no way to unhook mods, which that's like the first game, which kind of annoyed the crap out of me, because if you level up a mod and it wasn't the extreme level of before, then you want to put a better version of that mod onto a weapon, or at least hope that that mod just upgrades along with the weapon. But it doesn't work that way, which is a huge letdown for me. I get it. It's supposed to take a real world presence, like, hey, that doesn't really happen in the real life. And that's fine and all. But the big issue with that is you could go and spend all your money up a mod and then be like, oh shit, I just, this whole weapon, just durability went to hell and it's gone. And the only reason I'm saying this is because the only way to fix durability is to add mods to your weapon. And that's a huge bummer, because in the first game, you were able to just take whatever scrap metal that you had, and it would look like you're, mending, fixing. And their whole premise is you can't just take anything out and just start fixing a weapon. Well, that's actually kind of bullshit, because you can actually go up and take a pipe and fix a pipe with other fucking pieces of metal, or, resolder something, or it's... The whole point is there's ways around that idealistic part that you're trying to present. The other thing is the night. At night, you are infected. So at night, your infection rate goes up, and your immunity is just insane, because it's super low at the very beginning until you get certain things to boost it up, which that's locked behind doing specific things across the world before you can even upgrade certain things, which kind of sucks. So the biggest part of that is like, hey, if you're gonna run at night to boost up your stuff, you just be careful because you need UV lamps, you need like certain inhaler things that are gonna help you boost yourself to get around at night. And then they've given this whole open world thing, which, you know, it's a sandbox just like the first one, which is fine. But the problem I have is that during certain like building spots, it says, hey, this has something specific to do at night. Like it's forcing you to do this at night on a like side quest or just an exploration to grab some items. That's forcing you to do that. That's a real big bummer to me because I don't like to be forced to do something if the first game was like completely open world, you know, completely free control. This is not free control at all. Some of the quests are locked behind a deal where it says, hey, if you're on a specific quest and you're leaving that quest area, it'll tell you you're leaving the quest area, and then it gives you this huge countdown button thing, and it's just like, oh shit, I'm gonna die automatically or fail this quest automatically if I'm not in that specific area to finish. That's a bummer, and that happens on some of the story quests, which, you know, after you beat the prologue, I haven't seen that much, so that's a good thing. I'm only about 4 hours into the game, and mostly of that is just me screwing around because I like the whole aspect of me being able to do whatever the hell I want, running around, collecting objects, you know, building my guy up a bit. Now, here's one of the cool things that I thought this game presented. It gave you the ability to add armor to your guy and look different. You can mismatch stuff to make your guy look different. You can pretty much set your guy up if you want to be a brawler, a tank, a medic type deal to boost your you know, health and immunity. You can set your guy to one-handers, range, or like two-handed weapons, which that's a cool thing. I immediately love that they added that. But the first game didn't give you that, so I'm kind of wondering what their idea was about that. Like, yeah, you got different costumes and stuff, but the way they're doing it kind of makes it feel like if you're not going to build a certain way on your guy, you're not going to do the maximum amount of damage, or you're not going to heal for the max amount of points, and that's min-maxing a game. Again, for a game like this, I wouldn't recommend that route, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm enjoying the game. Don't get me wrong. I love being able to parkour around, run around doing certain things. Here's what I don't like about the running around process. Their stamina bar is ridiculously low. Like, I get it. You were just infected. Your entire like immunity system, your stam has to be low. But holy crap! Even if you got your first 2 points of parkour in on your skill tree, which yes, they do a skill tree, which is totally cool. First one at it, love that. The parkour tree, even if you do the grip hand stuff, whatever. You're still not able to fully hold yourself up. Your bar is ridiculously fast when it wants to run out for stamina, and you have to boost your stamina using certain objects instead, which makes this kind of hard because there's these things called windmills, and these windmills are basically generators for entire sections to power up UV stations or make a safe house for you. And in order to activate that, you need to do this whole parkour run around thing, which is a really cool idea, but your stamina bar is garbo. It's really bad. That's what I gotta say about that part. The world does feel like it's full. Now, full as in it's got a bunch of zombies, but there are people everywhere, and the first one didn't have this. The first one had, like, you know, bandits and stuff, people who work for Rise, you know, those guys were like thieves and stuff, that you would every now and then run into. But they were mostly zombies. In this city, you have a full civilization living on rooftops. I mean, they're either on rooftops or they're telling stories, or their main mission buildings, like safe houses. They did a great job of filling up the world, I believe. In my aspect of it, I enjoy that the world has some life. It's not like Haran where it was pretty empty and it felt like, even though it wasn't really empty because of zombies, it felt empty. So, that's a thing. There isn't any GRE packages that you can get, but there are GRE vehicles around. So you get cool stuff if you can find some of these convoys, open them up, get some of the legendary gear out of it. The missions I have an issue so far because it says that it gives you a choice, but depends on what you say, it really doesn't matter because it all ends up to being the same anyways. Like, it's going to lead to the same point. So where's really the free choice in choosing your quest there? Because, like, Skyrim did a huge job on, like, letting you say whatever the hell you want and walk away from it. This was really told us, hey, we were supposed to being able to talk and say certain things to certain NPCs, and then it would evaluate us depending on that. But it doesn't do that. All your answers are going to eventually lead to the same endpoint, which kind of sucks. Now, the game itself is super beautiful. Don't worry about that. It is amazingly beautiful. The weapons detail is amazing. Like, I got into like the first set of crafting stuff, which you have a guy who you eventually do a quest for, and he allows you to buy upgrade parts from him. So that's your like poison damage, fire damage, or like ect, whatever. So that's really cool because like the way they added that stuff to the weapons, it doesn't look lackluster like in the first game. There was only certain amount of skin looks for it. No, this actually looks like, if you look at the detail, they went all out on detail for it, which is really cool. Nighttime isn't really that scary. The first time I ran into volatiles, that was a huge deal, but volatiles aren't really running around the city right now. It's mostly like crazy runners and basically the ones where if you cause a lot of noise, they start chasing you. Mostly that guy and a new set of zombies called Screamers, and Screamers literally like attract a bunch of people, kind of like those things in State of Decay, where the Screamer would yell and a bunch of things would come to it. The one creepy aspect I have of this game, though, is there are kids like crying in the city, and if you played the first one, oh my god, kid zombies were creepy as hell. They were annoying. I have yet to run into one of those, and I hope there aren't in this. But there's also the other thing where the GRE stuff, they apparently banned guns, so I don't think there are guns in this one. I'm not quite sure. I haven't got that far yet. This is just my review on what I've seen and what I felt so far. I'm pretty much just running around doing a bunch of extra stuff. I take the time and sit down, and there are special spots where you can listen to people talk about stories. The environment does really well of telling certain stories, like the very beginning of the game. There was a story to be told of what people did before everything ended and became like this. So they gave the environment not only life, but a story to tell itself, depending on where you run into. And these rooftops, man, they're full of just people. I mean, people will just talk. You can stand there and listen to some of the dialogue. The dialogue's really great. There are some bugs I have run into, like some glitches, but not too big. But yeah, that's my take so far on this. If you guys have any other questions, or if you guys have some stuff that I should know about the game, please comment down. I would love to talk to everybody more about this. It felt a little rushed on this conversation, but honestly, like I said, I'm just a few into it. I've gotten to a point where there's like this one thing where I want to talk about is like chase level, where you get like full of like 4 levels of chase. Once you get to the 4th level, you are crowded with a bunch of these runner zombies. Everything is just trying to chase at you. They did a whole bunch of different things and tested really well with it, which I enjoy that they tested really well with that. I'm enjoying the game. I really am. But, like I said, if you guys have something you want to talk about in the comments, please let me know. I am streaming this game, but I am loading this game up onto YouTube as well. So all my stream plays, if you want to catch it live, just catch it at ChoppedStix at Twitch, and I'm there every Friday and Saturday. Number two, the stuff will be uploaded as soon as I can. But yeah, and that's it for me. Don't forget to bring those tokens for next time, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful night.